I just did the outro for this video and I forgot I hadn't done an intro, so I'm sorry about this lighting and everything because it is a very rainy day outside. We've got thunder, we've got lightning, and it's very dreary, but I still needed to do a little intro, so yeah, you'll probably see me in the same outfit at the end of the video. But this week, we're gonna be tackling some thrillers. Little update for you, or a big update for you. I think I made it past 50% in this book, just past. I'm confused, but the confusion is keeping me enthralled. Like, I just want to know what the hell is going on in this book. So if you don't know, I spoke about this a few times, but obviously if you're new to my channel, you won't know that I had like a haul and I had a 24-hour readathon where I was meant to read this, and this just kept going like on the back burner. And then when I was planning my video for this week, I just kind of looked at my TBR shelf and I was like, what do I actually want to get off my TBR first of all, and secondly, what I'm in the mood for reading. And I just came out of a slump, so I want to keep that going, and I thought thrillers are always a great option when you're trying to get out of a slump. So I picked this up, and it's The Drift by CJ Tudor, whatever, however you pronounce it. I'm so sorry if that was wrong, but on the cover it says, the wildest thriller of the year is 3 thrillers in one. Buckle up. A truly terrifying ice cold chiller from the master of macabre. So this kind of, I wouldn't say it's 3 timelines, but it's 3 sets of different people. So this is a dystopian thriller. So the first group were in a bus crash. They're all students of this one academy, and there's a huge storm coming, so they've been moved to a safer area. And then we have our second group who is like at this retreat where they treat this disease, or it's kind of a play on COVID, or the pandemic, shall I say. It's kind of a play on that, and there's this infection that's broken out and they try to contain it. They're trying to get a vaccine, but it's kind of like also the 5th wave where they have like farms of people that they just gather together. So the second group of people are at this facility called The Retreat. So it's like a cabin in the woods, and they are all survivors because the outbreak took over, but the retreat hasn't fully closed down. So they are stuck there because there's no way out. There's no outside communication, and the world is just obviously up in smoke right now. Then we have a third group of people who are stuck on a cable car. It's just stuck in the middle of the air and they can't get in or out, and they are also on their way to this retreat. However, each group has an incident. So the first group with obviously a bus accident, they all trapped inside this bus with snow piling on top of them, and obviously some people passed away during the crash. So they have to manage keeping the people alive and keeping the dead separate, but none of them can get out. The second group in the cable car, they woke up after a drug-induced sleep, and they're all stuck on this cable car, and they also have one dead and need to figure out what the hell is happening. Is someone on the cable car a killer, or is someone like, was he put on there dead already? And then the third group, havoc is just ensuing and no one knows what to do. People are dropping like flies and no one really knows what is going on. But I think as much as they don't know what is going on, we don't know what is going on. And slowly as the story is unfolding, you're picking up more little bits. So it's literally just unfolding itself like an onion. Like honestly, it's just layer after layer. And that is keeping me enthralled because I'm like, I don't understand what is going on. How did they get in this situation? Obviously, they're all somehow connected. It has to be because it's all in the same timeline. So very, very, very captivating. I'm shocked. But yeah, I'm on page 194 now, so yeah, I'm just flying through it. I'm actually really enjoying my time. Usually before I go to bed, I like to watch like something nostalgic like Big Bang Theory or A Good Girl's Guide to Murder or something that will like lull me to sleep. But last night I found myself just reading this book until I couldn't keep my eyes open. So really, really enjoying it, and I'm hoping it's going to be a 4-star, but we'll see how it ends. I've never read anything by this author. I thought it was a male author the whole time, but actually it seems to be be a female. But yeah, I've never really read a dystopian thriller like this. I know 9 was one, but yeah, I don't know. This is really like, and it's gorish. It's super gorish as well. Like they describe things like a crow picking out someone's eyeball and someone being decapitated, like in full detail. And I was shocked. I had to sit up and was like, what? I didn't expect that at all. But anyway, I will try and finish this today. Actually, I have quite a bit to do, but I'm going to try and put some time aside and read this. But for now, I need to head out, and I will chat to you guys when I have a little bit more to say or when I've finished the book. So see you guys soon. I finally finished The Drift by CJ Tudor. I did want to finish it yesterday, but I was so tired I ended up passing out with the book in my hand yet again. But I really enjoyed it. I just went to the hairdresser, so I finished it quickly while I was there. I mean, not quickly, like in an hour that it took to get my treatment done. So yeah, I finished it. I gave it a 4-star. And I know a lot of people, well, I've been reading reviews and a lot of people actually didn't enjoy the concept of this. It's post-apocalyptic, as well as, like I said, being slightly about the pandemic in a slightly more exaggerated way. So I enjoyed it. I was so confused. And then when I got to page 260, everything just clicked in my head and it all started to make sense and the timeline kind of slotted in. So I was very confused, like I said, all the way to 260. And then once everything hit, I just couldn't put the book down. I spent my morning I was meant to go for my morning walk and I was just reading. And then I had finished like the last 50 pages at my hairdresser's. But yeah, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I liked the feeling of being confused and slightly lost because I felt like most of the characters in this felt the same. There was a lot of like deceit and lying, and it wasn't as much as a thriller as it was like a mystery with some like horror elements, because there is a lot of gore in it. But ultimately I thought it was a great story, and yeah, 4-star. I'm so glad I'm out of the slump because I just wanted to keep reading. I usually watch like some YouTube or something before I go to bed, but I've just been reading, so that was a great experience in my opinion. So if you like post-apocalyptic or like pandemic, slightly like very fragmented thrillers that you kind of have to piece it together, I think you would love this book. And I thought it was great. It like kept my mind working. I kept thinking of theories, and like for me that makes a very exciting book. So I'm really happy I got that. So next we're gonna read All That's Left to Say. I always sound like a robot when I say that, by Emery Lord. And I got this in my most recent haul. I got it off the sales rack. So this sounded super interesting as well. I think it is about if I remember correctly, it's about a girl whose cousin passes away from a drug overdose, but she went to like this really fancy like private school. So a year later, our main female character, Hannah, she goes to this school in order to like kind of piece together what happened to her cousin, because they were really, really close. They were more like best friends, and she ends up having a really, really good time. So she ends up having this dilemma of, do I keep investigating and unravel what's going on here, or do I just grieve and deal with the passing of my cousin and just kind of go with emotions? So yeah, it's I don't know, it sounded interesting to me. So yeah, I'm gonna start this. I'm actually just, like I said, got back from the hairdresser, so I am starving. So I'm gonna have a piece of toast, and then I might watch an episode of Lie to Me because I want to rewatch it. I've only watched it once, so I think I want to rewatch that. But yeah, I will let you guys know when I start All That's Left to Say, and I will let you know what I have to say. Hi friends, I thought I'd do a quick check-in. I literally haven't read much at all. I have so much going on at the moment, and I'm hoping to finish this video in the next few days, but my partner is arriving tomorrow. I'm pre-filming this a little bit, and I just have a lot to do. I'm going to try and get in as many check-ins as I can while he's here, but we have so much wedding prep and stuff to do. But I am on page 60 of All That's Left to Say by Emery Lord. It's okay. It's moving really slow. So it's 2 timelines, before obviously everything that happened and after everything happened. We're kind of getting a look at what led up to what happened to Sophie, which is Hannah's cousin, and how Hannah's dealt with it going forward. And yeah, she's just entered into the school that Sophie attended, and she's trying to infiltrate, but I don't really know where it's going. It started off at the end, so like the prologue was the ending and we don't know what led to it, so I guess we're trying to figure that out. But the font is freaking tiny, so I am really struggling. But I will let you guys know when I've read a bit more, probably tomorrow. I'm gonna edit some videos now, and then also I need to sort my room out before my fiance comes. But yeah, it's okay. It's not capturing my attention just yet. I read most of this last night, and I read for like maybe 2 hours, which is not a lot, but the font is tiny, so I'm struggling along. But I have faith. I have faith that this might be a good one once we actually get into the plot. But at least I made it past page 50, because usually at this point I would DNF, but I'm still interested enough to want to know what happens. But yeah, that's kind of my update for now. I haven't done any B-roll. I will do some shortly. I hope so. But yeah, I hope to finish this soon. If I can finish this book in the next 2 days, that would be great. And then we'll start our last book, which is The Writing Retreat, which I'm very excited to, because this is so controversial. But yeah, I will catch up with you guys as soon as I have more to say. But yeah, it's okay. It's just okay for now. But yeah, like I said, speak to you guys later. Hi everybody. So it's been about 4 days since I last checked in. It's been a ride, but I've been reading All That's Left to Say by Emery Lord. I don't know why it's so difficult for me to say the title, but I'm sorry I'm speaking quite low because my fiance is still sleeping. But I thought I'd just check in quickly because it's been a while. The book, it's not my favorite. It just feels really drawn out. So I'm pretty sure I already described what the book is about. It's our main female character, Hannah, and her cousin Sophie passed away of a drug overdose, and she cannot come to terms with it. She's now switched schools to the private school that her cousin went to, because her aunt and uncle decided to pay for her to go to a private school now. She's investigating like everyone and everything, and she's so paranoid, and she can't accept the fact that her cousin had done drugs. From what she is gathering, it's happened for a while, but she can't believe it. And she ends up teaming up with her cousin's like school best friend, and she starts to find out that her cousin had this certain like melancholy, I can't say the word, melancholy about her, and she just can't picture it. She just can't picture how her cousin was ever sad and ever had any issues. And eventually she finds her cousin's diary, and in this diary as well, it starts off really sad and really raw, and she never saw that side of her cousin. But as the diary progresses, she starts to get very erratic and like happy, and like her whole demeanor changes. So Emery is now having to decide, like, does she carry on this investigation, because it's been going on for an entire year and she's not found anything out. She's ruled a few people out, but she's not found out anything that has led to this. So she's kind of just trying to find out where her cousin got the drugs from. That is her main issue. She doesn't care why she did it, how she did it, how long she's done it. She just wants to know who gave it to her, and that person's responsible for her death. So that all sounds very interesting, but this dual timeline. So there's the year that her cousin died and then the year after her cousin died. It's not linear. Like for me, it would have made sense to start off flowing from when her cousin died, everything she went through leading up to her senior year, which is a year later at this private school doing an investigation. For me, that makes sense. The time jumps back and forth. They just seem irrelevant. I understand that she's going through this whole investigation. She had to come up with a plan, but the jumps, they seem unnecessary. It's unnecessarily long as well. The chapters are stupid long, like to the point where sometimes I just want to put the book down in the middle of a chapter because I've already read like 12 pages and I'm just over it. So yeah, not my favorite book. It's feeling like a 2-star right now. I'm not loving it. I'm not going to lie. I'm on page 249 and I can't wait to finish it. It's really doing my head in and it's really boring. I just feel like we're going around in circles. We're not solving anything. Our main female character, she's like, I don't know how to say it politely, but she's like one of those know-it-all people, and nothing anyone says can sway her opinion. Like, it's just her way or no way. She knows best. She's 17 years old, like, relax. Relax. But yeah, she's like obsessed with this and she can't move forward, which is understandable, but the way she's going about it is so wrong. And I know grief and people deal with grief differently, but it just feels like it's exacerbated. Like everything is exaggerated, and it's so almost verbose. Like, it's just so much words on the page and nothing is being resolved. So yeah, that's just kind of my feelings right now, but I can't wait to finish this. I'll probably let you guys know when I do finish, and then I will finally start the writing retreat. I only have a week or so before all my international guests get here, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we can finish these 2 books in the week that we have ahead. I have a load of editing to do because this is my last video that I'll actually be filming before I get married. So it might come out when I'm like on honeymoon or something, but this is definitely going to be the last one for a bit. So yeah, I might film something on honeymoon, like what I read on honeymoon, but it probably won't be much. But that's just my thoughts. I'm not loving it. Her writing's not terrible, but I feel like it's kind of embellished just to get more words on a page. I don't know if that's a thing, but it just feels like, yeah, it's overwritten, put it that way. Yeah, I'm not loving it. But anyway, I'm gonna go off and edit, and then I'll let you guys know. Hopefully I can finish this by tomorrow. Don't know, I have a lot going on, so yeah. Good morning. So I'm still in my pajamas, obviously, because it's the morning and my fiance is still sleeping. So I thought I'd do another quick check-in. I finished it. It was tedious. It was really, really tedious. So last night I had 100 pages left and I was just like, I'm not going to sleep until I finish this book because I just need it to be done. And I ended up giving it a 2-star. So the concept of the book and the storyline was really good. It's all about like drug addiction, overdose, and how opioids are basically taking over in younger kids, like especially kids who are at sporting events and stuff and hurt themselves. They obviously get put on, I don't think it's the same in other countries, but in the States it is. But she was sourcing opioids from other sources and it was laced with fentanyl, so it caused her cousin to OD. The entire book is just her trying to come to terms with the passing of her cousin. She won't accept it. She feels like if she doesn't know exactly what happened, who the drugs came from, she cannot get over it. So the entirety of the book is just her trying to figure out who gave her cousin these drugs, and she puts herself at risk, and everybody's kind of moved on except for her. And I just felt like it was a little bit juvenile and so childish. Like, we all deal with grief differently, like I said before, but this was just done in such a roundabout way. We were just going around in circles and circles and circles, and it was tiring. It was tiring. So I just don't think it was executed very well. I wrote a review on my Fable and I think it kind of explains how I feel, and it was like in the moment when I just finished the book I wrote it. But let me see if I can find it. Yes, I said I like the concept and the subject discussed, but the route to the conclusion felt long, repetitive, tedious, and a little bit too childish. Definitely could have been executed better, or maybe done away with the mystery elements, as my expectations would have definitely been different. So what I meant by that is that if they didn't say it was a mystery and all of that, I would have gone with it. I mean, I would have gone into it with a different mindset. I would have, been prepared for all the grief and the coming to terms with grief and all of that. But because it was a mystery element in it, like, it just felt like we were just on a wild goose chase. So yeah, if they took that mystery element out, it would have been a really good, solid book about addiction and grief and coming to terms with it. But the mystery element kind of throws you off, and I had certain expectations that weren't met. So I don't know if I'm just rambling or if any of that makes sense, but that's just how I feel. So that is a review on all that's left to say. And once again, I've learned that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, because this cover is gorgeous. I really like it, and the book was mediocre at best. The reason I gave it a 2 stars is because, like I said, I like the subject matter, but everything else, like, it wouldn't be a book that I recommend. It took me over a week to read, so that isn't a very exciting recommendable book in my eyes. Like, anything from like 3-star up is something I liked and I would recommend, but something I didn't really love. So that's why I'm giving it a 2-star, or anything lower just wouldn't be a true representation of my reading journey throughout the book. Anyway, finally, we get to the writing retreat, and I'm very excited for this. I'm expecting it to be bad, so maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. A lot of people had terrible things to say about this, but a couple of people on our channel here actually liked it and couldn't wait for me to read it, so I think it's going to be interesting. It is, I think, sapphic as well. I read something about it being sapphic, and someone said like the first 20% of the book is like a melodrama between 2 girls, and the like last 20% is actually plot. So we'll have to wait and see, but I'm excited. It's just for a different like pace. But yeah, I've heard it, so it's quite boring. So I will let you guys know as soon as I get started. I might read a couple chapters now, but yeah, I've told you about what the book is about, I'm sure. It's 5 attendees who are on a month-long writing retreat at a remote estate. So our main female character, I'm assuming, is Alex, and she's a struggling writer, and they need to complete an entire novel from scratch, not continuing any other novel, and the best one will receive a 7-figure publishing deal. I'm not sure where that takes us, but yeah, very excited. Hi guys, I'm sorry I'm in the same spot again, but it is a gloomy day. I'm sure I put in some B-roll. It is raining, there's thunder and lightning, so sorry about the lighting, and my partner is having a nap in the bedroom, so I didn't want to chat there. But this video has actually taken so much longer than I thought it would, but as I said, I'm sure in the beginning of the video, my wedding is in exactly a week, so we've had so much to do while my partner was here. We had to like go get ring size, I had to pick up my dress, we had to go get his suit resized because he lost some weight, so we've just had so much to do. So reading's been a bit on the back burner, and the previous book literally was kind of slumping me out. But I know I didn't check in midway. We finished it. We finished the writing retreat, and like I said, I heard so many like polarizing reviews on this, very contradicting as well. And one of the things I heard was that the dialogue was really cringy, but these are women competing against each other for $1 million. Like, of course they're going to be petty. Of course the dialogue's not going to be top class. Like, yes, they are authors, but they're still rivalries at the end of the day, and they're competing for something huge. So I loved this book. I gave this a 4-star. It was so good, and I'm pretty sure I explained it, but I'll just go quickly through it again. There's 5 women who write a story to go to this writing retreat with this famous author, and all 5 women absolutely love her. She's been writing for years, and she has this house, like a remote part of New York, and it's literally in the middle of nowhere. There's no signal, nothing. But at the last minute, Alex and Ren, Alex is our main female character, and her ex-best friend Ren, they get recruited in, but they had a massive falling out. So the two of of them are not seeing eye to eye, and like Alex is really like dreading having to spend this time with Ren, and obviously with both of their favorite author, that's one thing they have in common. So the writing retreat starts off really well, but then weird things start happening, people start disappearing, and it's literally them having to fight for their lives. So I thought it was amazing. I love the pacing of the book. Yes, it did take me like maybe a week to read, maybe 4 days, but also my bachelorette was this weekend, so I didn't read much on the weekend. But when I was reading, I was engaged and I didn't want to put down the book. I thought it was an interesting concept. I liked the fact that they were all authors, and you got excerpts of like some of their stories, and I thought it was amazing. I love the thriller aspect. Yes, the ending was a little bit taboo, but more plausible than some of the other endings we find in books. Like I could kind of see that happening like in a movie setting, which for me is amazing. I love books that resemble like watching a movie. So I really enjoyed this. It was thrilling, it was great, and a 4-star read for me. So I'm so happy. So just to recap, I think we started off with The Drift, which I also gave a 4-star to. I love this. If you love dystopian writing like me, you will like it too. I did watch a review on it on YouTube, and the creator really didn't like it and gave it a 1-star, but I liked the three conflicting timelines, and all of them somehow linked up. I did like the connection to COVID, but it wasn't like in your face, but yeah, it was like zombie apocalypse kind of like it. I loved it. I loved the dystopian way it was written. I loved the 3 different timelines. I didn't find them confusing. The stories were completely different for me, but had one little link that linked them all together. So I really enjoyed this. If you do enjoy like dystopian writing, it's more like horror though than it is thriller. And this was a thriller video, but I wasn't 100% sure. It didn't mention horror, but I wasn't sure how horror driven it was, but I really enjoyed it. And I would definitely recommend if you like that type of genre, but if you don't, I would avoid it. If you don't like dystopian horror, basically like Locked Room, you won't like it. And then we read All That's Left to Say by Emery Lord. This one I didn't enjoy. I thought it was really dragged out. I gave it a 2.5 star. Unfortunately, yeah, the concept of the story didn't match the like thriller mystery aspect. I found the main female character to be really insufferable, really childish, and really naive. And yeah, I just didn't connect with that part of it. I usually love stories about like addiction and recovery and stuff like that. So I was really looking forward to that bit. But unfortunately, the mystery side just took a weird turn. It's like the first half of the book was really interesting, but then it just kept going. And every single chapter, we were still rehashing things from the previous chapter and the chapters before that, and it's just like we weren't resolving anything, and it just felt like I was going around in circles, and I was very frustrated with it. But like I said, I do like books about addiction and stuff like that, so that's why it's a 2.5 and not just like a 2 or 1 star. I should have DNF'd it because I felt like it was a little bit of a waste of the time, and at the end I feel like we didn't really resolve anything. We just kind of just came to terms with things. So yeah, that is my opinion. These are the 3 books. This is going to be my last video that I'm pre-filming for wedding season because I'm going on honeymoon. I think this video will go up on the 29th of April, which is my last day of honeymoon as well. So I'm not sure if I will have a video for that next week, but I definitely will try my best. Maybe I'll try to take a couple of books on honeymoon with me. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really did. I still really like thrillers. I know I went through that stage last year where I read some Stephen King's books, and I read thrillers for a whole month of October, and that was a mistake because I kind of was put off thrillers for a while, but really enjoyed my time. Not this one so much, but definitely the 2 others, and 2 4-stars in one video is really good for me, if I say so myself. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you all well, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.